I'm elated to inform you that we have successfully convened 3 AFSNet conferences thus far. Over these transformative years, we have forged strategic alliances, such as our partnership with the United Cities and local government of Africa. And we must thank our brother, Mr. Bassi, for making this possible. This has propelled our membership to span the entire continent. We have conducted a series of information sharing and sensitization workshops, the most recent of which was yesterday's capacity building workshop with sub-sovereign and national investment promotion agencies, facilitated by another one of our partners, the Center for International Trade, Miami, and Financial Times. And we thank them for supporting us in delivering those. In 2023, at the last AFSNet Investment Conference held in Cairo, Egypt, we made a commitment to significantly increase the bank's allocation to AFSNet to $2 billion in order to support the trade and the investment financing needs of the members of the network. This support will go towards supporting sovereign governments' development programs that meet our financing requirements. And I'm happy that today we will be signing an agreement to support the pharmaceutical project that was shown today. There are also other examples. But if you see counties, states, provinces, or cities with project ideas or concepts can tap into the bank's project preparation facility, a special funding product for the development of project ideas into bankable projects. That facility is what we have provided to the promoters of the pharmaceutical project here to enable them turn the ideas into bankable projects, and then we can move on and provide the project finance that will be needed. An example also is the signing of a project preparation facility that made it possible that's making it possible for the Bakassi Seaport in Nigeria, in Calabar, Nigeria, that will cost $13.5 billion to be commenced. Afreximbank signed that project preparation facility recently with the state government, and therefore started preparing the project for possible financing. We had also, through the intervention of the project preparation facility, supported the KwaZulu-Natal government by preparing a project that is supporting titanium, a project called the Nyanza Light Metals Project in that province. We've been able to bring it from idea to bankability, and we are now raising an amount of $866 million in support of the project, which is about getting to closure. Another state that is taking advantage of this facility is Ogun State, Nigeria, which is seizing the opportunity to embark on a remarkable $400 million industrial park project. By harnessing the bank's initiative for developing industrial parks and special economic zones, Ogun State is paving the way for commodity-based and labor-intensive industrialization. That project has been started and will be completed early next year. By providing parcels of land to Afreximbank, you too can ignite the formation of dynamic industrial clusters in your region. We passionately believe in the transformative power of industrial parks and special economic zones to elevate communities into vibrant economic hubs and begin to deal with the kind of unemployment problem that the governor of Kisumu mentioned when he spoke. A significant portion of African exports are often rejected in international markets due to inadequate adherence to standards. In response, Afreximbank is leading the establishment of internationally accredited quality assurance centers across the continent. These centers provide crucial services such as testing, inspection, and certification, along with comprehensive training and capacity building. Our goal is to create a unified set of African standards, replacing the diverse national regulations currently in place. And we have made significant progress on this by supporting the African Regional Standard Organization through grants, which has enabled the harmonization of standards across 500 products, with work still continuing. With one African Quality Assurance Center already operational in Ogun State, Nigeria, and projects underway in Benin, Egypt, Gabon, Nigeria, and plans to commence a project here in Kenya, this is an opportunity for you as visionary leaders to collaborate in developing world-class quality assurance centers for your regions. This quality infrastructure is necessary if you hope to turn your sub-regions or your sub-sovereigns into export powerhouses. Together, we can elevate our exports to meet the rigorous standards needed for national, regional, and global markets. We can also work with you in many other ways, covering healthcare, power, ports, and the ports will include land, air, and sea, training and capacity building, manufacturing, and so on. Afreximbank team is here to broaden your perspectives on the scope of what is possible. As I bring my remarks to a close, I extend my deepest appreciation to all the governors and representatives present today. Your unwavering support for this network is not merely for your individual development, it is for the collective advancement of our continent. I look forward to seeing you in subsequent conferences. And as I close, permit me to once again thank His Excellency Dr. William Ruto for honoring us today with his presence. We thank you for your partnership with Afreximbank, the many projects we are now planning to launch, covering industrial parks, quality assurance centers, and the big textile project that we have agreed to implement across Africa with the Swiss authorities, for which they are making available $5 billion. Let me also thank our host, the governor of Kisumu, for being there for us and putting this very excellent event together. We thank you for your partnership, for making it possible for us to all be here, and for all the hospitality we've seen since we arrived. As the renowned Kenyan author, Ngugi wa Thiong'o, put it, and let me capture it the way he said it more succinctly. He wrote, and I quote, "The future is not what we have inherited from the past, but what we are preparing for the future." So we should only use the lessons of the past to shape our vision for tomorrow. We must always look forward. And with Afreximbank on your side, you can be sure that should you need support, we will be there as much as we can. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Another round of applause for him, please. Thank you. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Professor Benedict. Your Excellency, sir, at this point, allow me to now call on Honorable John Badi, Cabinet Secretary, National Treasury and Economic Planning, to make his remarks and in turn invite His Excellency President. Why don't we welcome him with a clap? Tumpigie makofi tafadhali. Welcome, sir.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, allow me to ride on the protocol already established. I was supposed to make my comments after this session, but I'm stepping in for the Cabinet Secretary for MITI. MITI is actually Ministry of Investment, Trade and Industry, Honorable Salim Vuria, who is out of the country. So, Your Excellency, allow me to commence these brief remarks by once more joining all who have spoken to commend the government of Kisumu County and Afreximbank for co-hosting the 4th series of Africa Sub-Sovereign Network Conference. The Africa Sub-Sovereign Network Conference was launched by the African Export-Import Bank, what is known as Afreximbank, during an inaugural conference held on the sidelines of the Intra-African Trade Fair in 2021, with the mission of promoting peer learning, cooperation and collaboration among sovereign governments. The invaluable impact of peer learning is well recognized. Varied stakeholders bring with them a wealth of knowledge, skills and resources that can be customized for the good of communities. Development often represents, in among others, the realization or revitalization of areas and of infrastructure. If government officials collaborate with the local business owners and community organizations to pool resources to fund initiatives like infrastructure improvement of an area, beautification or greening projects, then each can contribute their specific and unique expertise, be it design, policy making or other expertise, to ensure success of projects. It is an excellent opportunity that this conference is co-hosted by Afreximbank. This is because in the more recent past, Afreximbank has shown its commitment to Kenya's development agenda through the 3-year country program aimed at boosting our economic recovery. The 3-year country program seeks to leverage on $3 billion facility to support trade and investments in Kenya's public and private sectors through loans, guarantees, facilities, trade services, investment banking, and advisory services. Also of note and worth emphasizing is the fact that Afreximbank is further actively involved in deepening and expansion of the banking industry in Kenya by expanding its lines of credit and other products offerings to Kenyan banks to equip them with the muscle to support the local economy. Your Excellency, when we talk economy and development, there is really no urgency in reinventing the wheel when it comes to Africa's development agenda. Agenda 2063 encapsulates not only Africa's aspiration for the future, but also identifies key flagship programs which can boost Africa's economic growth and development and lead to the rapid transformation of the continent. The networking and learning opportunities presented through this conference series poses potential to bring forward practical and unique policy concepts that cannot be underplayed, and it is my anticipation that this opportunity will see the emergence of viable economic initiatives that will see the Kenyan economy grow in line with the bottom-up economic agenda principle, through which the government intends to continue to collaborate with the stakeholders, including the private sector, to realize projected growth. The need for innovative approaches outside the traditionally accepted lines to promote development finds a comfortable home in the choice of theme by Afreximbank and County Government of Kisumu for this year's 4th edition of the Africa Sub-Sovereign Network Conference, which is leveraging the African Continental Free Trade Area for sustainable trade and investment, a development pathway for Africa Sub-Sovereign. So trade across the region must thrive, and Afreximbank is one of the better placed institutions to guide this, since she has acquired considerable experience in successfully intervening and supporting its member states facing both short, medium, and long-term socio-economic challenges and crises, and supporting those member countries going through major macroeconomic negative shocks. Kenya was among the first African countries that signed the African Continental Free Trade Area Treaty in Kigali, Rwanda, on March 21st, 2018, marking a historic milestone in the economic integration push of the continent. The formation of a free trade area spanning the continent creates a single market of over 1.3 billion people with a combined gross domestic product of more than $3.4 trillion US. Your Excellency, the move by Kenya to join the Pan-African Payment and Settlement System initiatives as an enabler for the African Continental Free Trade Area is a major milestone, as it presents the Kenyan firms with the ability to execute all trades and financial transactions seamlessly with other firms in the rest of Africa. Correspondingly, the move by the Afreximbank to establish the adjustment fund is also laudable. The United States dollars of 10 billion fund will support countries, Kenya included, to effectively participate in the African Continental Free Trade Area. As a major shareholder of the bank, Kenya is expected to continue to tap the opportunities offered by the bank through the adjustment fund. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, some research suggests that people with a fixed mindset tend to approach goals more passively. A growth mindset of opportunities and entrepreneurial mindsets. It means not seeing hurdles, but instead seeing how to overcome the hurdles. This conference provides that opportunity, and I hope we will each grasp it. Allow me, Your Excellency, before I invite you to address the conference, to just mention two more things. Your Excellency, I also want to associate with the sentiments of Professor Peter Nyang'yo, the Governor of Kisumu, and also with the President and Chairman of the Board of Afreximbank, Professor Orama, on the issue of the challenge that this country is facing, and not just Kenya, but across the region, that is of unemployment. This is urgent and must be addressed. It is the most critical challenge that we are facing as a nation. And therefore, Your Excellency, in that breath, as we get support from Afreximbank, and I'm happy and delighted that the Afreximbank is ready and willing to support our special economic zones and industrial parks. Your Excellency, allow me to disclose that last week, exactly the same day, it is only the hour which is different, it was at night, that you instructed me, Your Excellency, to make specific provision in the next budget and to support the special economic zone, especially the one in Kisumu, Kibos. I want to guarantee, Your Excellency, that your instructions will be executed. And with this possible support from Afreximbank, I'm even more encouraged that we'll get funding for our special economic zones and industrial parks, not just Kibos alone, but Your Excellency, there are other counties as well, including my own home county of Homa Bay, where we also have the Riwa Industrial Park, or special economic zone. Finally, Your Excellency, allow me to mention something, and I can hear Governor Orengo also shouting, what about Siaya? And by extension, what about Bungoma? Because Lusaka is also here. But finally, Your Excellency, when you graciously offered me this position that I'm occupying today of a Cabinet Secretary in charge of National Treasury and Economic Planning, we had a meeting with you and we mutually agreed that we must support devolution. And both of us are actually students of devolution. Remember, we have pushed devolution together even when we were together with you in ODM. Today we are again together in broad-based government. So we agreed that we will make sure that devolution is supported, and supported fully with action, not just by words. Even though we had challenges of how much to give the counties, but that I think has now been settled at 387 billion shillings, which both houses of parliament have agreed on. We have endeavored, Your Excellency, and I don't think I've disappointed you, in making sure that counties receive their funding timeously. I want to just make it clear, Your Excellency, that yes, we crossed over 2023-24 with 1 month arrears to pay under share of revenue to counties, 30.8 billion. And that amount was actually paid on 27th of July 2024. Now for this financial year, Your Excellency, we had a little bit of a challenge because of the legal framework, but again we both agreed that we get the opinion of the Attorney General, and which we got. I sought the opinion and we got. And immediately I got that opinion. On 24th of September 2024, we made transfer of 32.76 billion to the county governments for the month of July. And then on 17th of October 2024, we transferred 30.8 billion to the counties for the month of August. And then on 14th of November 2024, we made a transfer of 32.7 billion for the month of September. And less than a week later, on 18th, which is Monday of November 2024, we transferred 30.8 billion for the month of October. So, Your Excellency, as far as the national government is concerned, we don't have any arrears to counties, but something needs to be worked on. That is the control of budget and how that office can facilitate funds to leave the county revenue funds to the county governments. I think that needs to be dealt with urgently, and I'm sure the Deputy President will deal with that. We need to convene a meeting and see how to smoothen that process. Otherwise, Your Excellency, allow me at this juncture, and my fellow participants, kindly be upstanding as we welcome the President of the Republic of Kenya to come and address the gathering. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Karibu.
Thank you very much. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Thank you very much. You can take your seats. Asante sana. Allow me to take this opportunity on behalf of the government and people of Kenya to welcome friends and partners who have come from far and wide to attend this very important summit, to join the governor of Kisumu, Professor Anyang' Nyong'o, who has warmly welcomed all of you to Kisumu, in welcoming all of you to Kenya. Professor Anyang' Nyong'o is under very strict instructions to take good care of each and every participant. And if for one reason or another he does not, please report him to me. I will figure out what to do with him. But I am privileged to have this opportunity on behalf of the people and government of Kenya to welcome all of you to this famous Lake City, to the 4th African Sovereign Networks Conference. I am grateful to the governor of Kisumu, Professor Peter Anyang' Nyong'o, for the excellent preparation that have gone into hosting this event and the partnership that they have put together with Afreximbank. And I also want to thank Professor Benedict Orama for making time to join us for this conference. Your presence here, Benedict Orama, is yet another example of the unique approaches that the bank under your leadership employs in order to deepen its footprint by engaging with shareholders throughout the continent, including subnational entities like Afri-cities and devolved governments like that of Kisumu. Afrexim has consistently demonstrated innovative approaches in advancing credit to African governments and the public sector while facilitating deeper collaboration among sub-Saharan nations. And Kenya is an example the first decision I made was to invest another $40 million in Afreximbank, because we see the value in growing African institutions that understand our landscape, our economies better, and they can better support, innovate, and use creative means of supporting our economies. And I want to thank you, Professor, for being a champion of solutions to our continent. I also want to confirm, as the CS for Treasury has said, we have a framework agreement with Afreximbank of $3 billion, and they have supported many aspects in our economy. They have supported our imports of fuel. They have supported our commodities trade. They have supported many other aspects. And today, we are going to be signing off some of the agreements that we have made in various other areas, including our infrastructure support program on roads, which we are in consultation. We are also going to sign off on matters to do with cotton value chain, and I like what Professor Anyang' Nyong'o said here, that among the three most important crops that this county and the counties in this region are involved in is cotton. You just heard from Professor Orama that there is a facility that will support the cotton value chain, because the cotton value chain has three important aspects. Number one, it has the production sector that supports many farmers. And we have already worked with AJAABU, which is a company associated with Afrexim, on seed multiplication and support for farmers in the area of seed production, multiplication, and access to farmers. Secondly, we are also working with Afrexim on the next value chain, the next step, and that is the ginning, the manufacturing, and shortly they will be investing in Rivertex and some of our textile industries. And thirdly, they will also be supporting our offtake of cotton from farmers at reliable prices that can give predictability to our farmers to continue doing what they are doing in the production sector. So I will not allow you, Professor, to get into your plane until we sign off these things. These are some of the items that we have in consultation, because this spirit of innovation aligns seamlessly with the aspirations of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, creating a dynamic network of ambitious, future-ready institutions and governments. Such collaboration will drive transformative engagements at the grassroots level, enabling Africa to achieve an unparalleled position in the global value chains and make substantial contribution to their bottom-up transformation. By promoting peer-to-peer learning, this forum of Afri-cities strengthens cooperation among sub-sovereign governments and devolution, a tremendous innovation established under our 2010 Constitution has evolved into an exemplary success story that Kenyans are very proud of, as it has brought services closer to the people, empowered grassroots participation in governance, and safeguarded minority rights and enhanced that there is timeless release of resources to the counties, that Parliament will not go into recess unless they conclude both Dora, and Kara. Afrexim as a Pan-African multilateral institution was envisioned by African leaders as a bold and innovative mechanism to address Africa's unique financing needs. Its initiatives such as the Pandemic Trade Impact Mitigation Facility, again to underscore the African payment and settlement system that was ably said by the CS for Treasury, that as a country we are gives us an opportunity for all latitude and the framework to build the momentum around the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. And President Orama, I want to tell you, we are grateful as leaders in this continent that you are thinking ahead of time and providing solutions to the challenges that come our way. Closer home, Kenya has greatly benefited from Afrexim support through the Kenya Country Program, and I have said the $3 billion has been allocated to support our nation's key priority over the next 3 years, aligning with our bottom-up economic transformation agenda. This substantial investment will support programs and projects in value chains under our strategic pillars of our economic transformation plan, including agriculture. And again, you know how passionate I am, Professor, with our farmers. We have a $50 million facility for the Agricultural Finance Corporation, which again, we must sign off today. Because my farmers need that $7.5 billion to be able to buy fertilizer, buy other farm inputs at below 8% interest rate. That way, we can better support whether it is our sugarcane farmers or our cotton farmers or maize or tea or coffee. I'm told by my team that all has been agreed upon, and Mbadi, please, you better have ink in your pen so that we can sign this off today. Together with our medium and small and micro enterprises, the digital superhighway, the creative economy, and industrialization sectors, as well as securing critical commodities such as petroleum, rice, and fertilizers. Again, as Professor Orama said, and CS Treasury has said, the whole ecosystem of creating jobs around our special economic zones. We have now 7 new special economic zones. 1 in Dongokundu, 1 in Kirinyaga, 1 in Thika, 1 in Eldoret, here in Kisumu, 1 in Busia. All these special economic zones, and of course, the one in Naivasha, where we have agreed with Afrexim, and we will be signing off. They will be providing resources for us to do the infrastructure to support these facilities so that we can again work with them in looking for the investors that will invest in these special economic zones for purposes of creating jobs for our young people, creating value for our products that we are producing, and making sure that we do more exports. And among the crops we are targeting for export going into the future, as opposed to import, is sugar. As I said, this year we were blessed. We produced more sugar than we consume for the first time in many years, and I'm looking forward to carrying out additional reforms in that sector. We've just passed the sugar law that is now going to provide greater space and a better focus on matters policy to support the whole industry in this region, so that instead of spending a lot of our money importing stuff, including sugar, we will instead be looking at mechanisms of export. And the partnership we are putting together with Afreximbank will help us unlock that potential. Africa continues to face a deep economic crisis caused by a variety of complex challenges, ranging from slowing global trade, rising energy costs, and high food prices. These challenges are further compounded by a public debt burden that has reached concerning levels. Without a doubt, committed and consistent collective action is essential to deepen African integration, enhance our collective economic resilience, and promote greater levels of intra-Africa trade. Equally certain is the fact that going forward, Pan-African transformation will increasingly depend on institutions like Afreximbank and many others to mobilize resources and create a conducive environment for investment in job creation, poverty reduction, industrialization, and a stronger export performance and accelerated development through intra-Africa trade. Allow me also to confirm to you the sentiments expressed by the Governor of Kisumu on matters to do with the lake ecosystem in terms of transport, in terms of facilities. And I want to confirm to the people of this region that the Kabonyo fish facility here that will provide 7 million fingerlings every year is off to a start to make sure that we restock Lake Victoria and to make it much more viable for our fishermen and women. We are off to a start in the 10 landing sites along Lake Victoria from Busia all the way to Migori. Specifically here in Kisumu, we have agreed with Professor here that we are putting up a landing site in Asat and Ogal. The advert for the same will be out in January, and we're going to spend about 300 million shillings to make sure that those facilities are available, and they will be managed by the county government of Kisumu to make sure that they also add additional facilities to facilitate the whole fishing ecosystem in our region. It is a big shame for us to import fish from Asia in the 21st century, 60 years after independence. That speaks volumes of the things we should not be doing. Secondly, I want to confirm to you again, Professor, as you have talked about the fishing boats and the entire fishing ecosystem with support in training and in making sure that the lake ecosystem has the necessary infrastructure. Again, I am looking forward to your partnership with my ministry responsible for maritime affairs and fisheries. We have an 800 million shilling facility for fish boats and training of your fisher folk. Again, beginning January, if you can have a conversation with CS Joho and his team, we are aligned to make sure that the whole of this Lake Victoria front, from Busia all the way to Migori, benefits from this facility as we improve our food security and ensuring that we import less and export more. And finally, because there have been major accidents, and you've said it ably, in Lake Victoria, and we lose a lot of people because of facilities that are not adequate, because of some of the infrastructure that is not proper, we have decided to do Lake Victoria Rescue and Coordination Center. Here, we are putting 2.7 billion shillings to make sure that any accident in Lake Victoria is attended to in record time, so that we can better support the whole ecosystem there and make sure that this is going forward. Allow me to say one more thing. I think Professor has ably said that this city can also provide a destination for conferencing and other facilities. And we need to leverage on the tourism assets that are available in Kisumu and the whole of this lake region. And therefore, the conference facility that is here in Kisumu, that was an investment of the national government, I want to confirm that we are ready to have a conversation with Kisumu County, and we want to bring our friends Afreximbank on board, so that through a public-private partnership, we can actually have an investment in the completion of that facility, in the building of the hotel, so that we can have a management program that will make sure that we unlock the potential of that facility where government resources have already been invested in. I know Professor understands very well, because he was our Minister for Planning, what public-private partnership can achieve. And there will be no problems of people saying anybody wants to sell any asset in Kisumu. So I look forward, Professor, to having that engagement so that we can bring in the private sector to work with us to unlock the potential in some of these infrastructure facilities as we go into the future. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to, in a very special way, thank Professor Orama and team, people from Shelter Afrique and team, and my good brother, the Secretary General, for what they are doing. As I confirmed to you, the Ministry of Devolution, which is handled at the office of my Deputy President, and the PS is here. We're going to unlock the issues that you have raised about the Secretariat in Nairobi. And I also want to confirm to you, Kenya's leadership on matters to do with urban poor is on course. Right here in Kisumu, we are doing affordable housing. We have the first 2,500 units under construction. We have another 10,000 units under procurement in Kisumu County, and 50,000 units along the 5 counties in this region. We have a big program on making sure that because the future is urban, we must prepare for it. And we must provide the infrastructure so that our urban areas do not become slums or places of poverty, but becomes active ecosystems of young people to get jobs and for us to move into the future. So our leadership on that front is on course. And when I am called upon to make a report under BICRAP, I will have a good report. You don't have to worry. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for attending this conference. I wish you fruitful deliberations and encourage you to take some time out of your busy schedules to enjoy the delightful attractions of our Lake City. The 4th Sub-Sovereign Network Conference is now opened. Thank you very much. God bless you, and God bless our country, Kenya. Asanteni sana.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. If I may request Your Excellency for a quick photo, if you remain on stage kindly. And let me invite the Governor Kisumu County, CS Treasury. Let's take our seats, please. The rest of us kindly, let's take our seats. Governor Kisumu, CS Treasury, Professor Orama, SG Jean-Pierre, EVP, Mrs. Kanayo, and Shelter Afrique CEO, if you can join His Excellency on stage. The second photo we are going to take will include all the governors present, including governors from other countries, so we can get ourselves ready. But this is the first photo as we immortalize this day. Very good. All right, if I may request we step down, and I call all the governors present, both from Kenya and from other countries, to kindly just come and take the back, to stand at the back of the first queue, so that we will be able to handle those numbers. All governors present, both from Kenya and from other countries, including the PSs present. PSs, if we can kindly join as well.